Okay, hello. This is Lorena Lepe. I'm interviewing Mina Halim. The date is May 10th, 2017, and the time is 1:16. Hi, Mina.
Hello.
So tell me some of your experiences growing up. What were some of your favorite memories?
Some of my favorite memories. I feel like whenever me and my family took like trips to like SeaWorld and stuff like that, a lot of those are my favorite memories. And then probably a lot of memories at church because I was at church a lot growing up.
Did anyone else in your family go to college, and what were some of their experiences?
So both of my parents went to college in Egypt, so they both went to Cairo University, and they didn't really talk much about it, but because they both just kind of, my family's really religious, so they both just kind of like laid low, like took their classes. They both lived in Cairo, so they would go to their classes, go home, like do their chores, help out, like go to work, and then like go to church and stuff like that. So I guess they were like kind of commuters. Yeah, and then my brother also went to college. He went to Humboldt State, and he just he lived off campus, and yeah, he just stayed really close to campus most of the time. He didn't really leave much. Humboldt's in a really small town, so
Did your family have an impact on your decision to go to college?
um, in a way, I guess. I mean, they definitely helped me move away. Yeah, no, they did. That my parents definitely encouraged me a lot growing up to like go to college, and they always kind of like put it in my sight that like that's something I should be working towards and going towards.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your decision to go to college and when did you decide to go to college?
Well, honestly, I feel like it wasn't really a decision for me. Like, I feel like if I didn't go to college, my parents would have definitely had like a really big problem with it. I definitely didn't have to go to like a university right away. My parents wouldn't have cared if I went to like a community college, but I kind of just wanted to get away from home. Um, but yeah, it was always just kind of like in my head, even going like, even in middle school, like it was always something that I just kind of figured was going to happen, which I realize I have like a lot of privilege because some people don't have any type of, like access to college. But yeah, it's always just kind of been like an option for me, so I never really had to like make a decision. It was like kind of made, it was like set up for me already.
So, when this decision or just made of college, why East Bay? Why did you choose East Bay?
Um, Honestly, because I only applied to four schools and I got denied from the two that I really wanted to go to, and I got accepted into East Bay, and then what was the other school? I'm not sure, but it was a lot closer to home. I think it was somewhere in LA. And I chose East Bay honestly because it was the furthest away from home, but I'm really happy that I came here.
So, East Bay is the most diverse campus in the continental US. Did you know this?
I did, yes, but only because I work at the diversity center. If I didn't work here, I wouldn't have known. And when I started working here, that's when I started like appreciating this campus more because of that. Because I was kind of like, oh, cool, like there is a lot of different stuff here that I wouldn't have been able to experience at like another university.
Um, so, if you can you tell me a little bit about your experience working at the Diversity Center and your decision to start working here?
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to work here because my freshman year of college, I came in here to try to be a part of like a queer straight alliance club. And this was like, I knew this was the space to do that. So it started off kind of with like an interest in that, but none of the other students such as myself like before I started working here were really like interested in like actually keeping the group together and like working to like keep a club together or whatever. So I just I like made friends with the people that worked here, and they told me that I should work here because then I can like do stuff like that and get paid for it. um So I applied, and then I really do like the fact that like we do cover a lot of topics on like cultural diversity, intersectionality, like social justice and things like that. Like those were all things that appealed to me, and this was just kind of like a like it just felt like kind of like a, you know, like, oh, I should do this, like it makes sense for me to like be interested and try. um and then what was the second part besides my interest?
Your decision.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just what that you
Oh
covered.
yeah,
Just
that
fine.
was yeah.
So, what does diversity mean to you in an academic setting?
In an academic setting, I feel like diversity means that in like what terms, what we have or what we should have, or like in total.
Well, you can just tell me what diversity means to you, and then what you think it should mean in like a college setting. Like, how
Okay.
should it be in a campus?
Okay. Well, diversity to me, I feel like diversity and inclusion are kind of like um, on the same plane. Like they're synonymous, meaning that like there shouldn't really be any type of judgment towards anyone's experience, and like we should all keep an open mind to understanding that the way that we're all brought up, socialized, taken, you know, like growing up is like different, and the way we like process things and see things is different. So it's important to understand like differences in perspective and insight, and like being able to appreciate that at the same time. And in college specifically, I feel like it should it should look the same way that colleges try to make it look on their like ads. Like we should see more brown and black students in STEM. We should see more brown and black student like orgs, clubs, you know, like we should see more black and brown students being heard and like being like listened to when we tell them, you know, we can afford a 5% tuition raise, or we need non-gendered bathrooms, or you know, whatever it is that we need, because these marginalized communities are the ones that are like, you know, these are like what the CSU was built for, like we're the community that they made this like strain of colleges for. So it's like you need to be able to provide for us and like support the diversity you claim to like have. Yeah.
So, can you tell me some of your experiences, or maybe your favorite experiences at East Bay in terms of diversity?
Well, most of them definitely occurred via the diversity center. And a lot of them are honestly just like when we provide spaces for other cultural clubs to come in, or like, yeah, like when we do lavender graduation. I feel like those are some of my favorite times, because it's just really nice kind of bringing like the community together and giving a safe space for them to like express themselves and what they need to do. And yeah, when like MSA feels comfortable meeting in here, and when BSU feels comfortable meeting in here, and when all of these different cultural orgs feel comfortable meeting in here and have their meetings in here, and we're able to see them kind of be like a little more carefree than maybe they can be just out and about on campus. It makes me feel like it makes me feel nice, and that I'm happy I can be a part of that, and like being able to participate with them and not feel like really worried about the space, like any unsafe space.
So, how do you think East Bay's location contributes to its diversity?
Definitely being like right in the middle of the bay helps. I feel like a lot of people don't even live in Hayward. But you know, like a lot of people know Hayward because they're like, oh, I pass by, I have family in Hayward. Like, you know, wherever you're going, you always kind of like come pass through Hayward, because I feel like East Bay is not a super, well, it's definitely getting more popular, but it's not a super popular school in terms of like when I was searching for colleges. Like I definitely had to like look a little to like see East Bay. It wasn't one of the schools that just like comes up. So I feel like a lot of people definitely know it just by like kind of like knowing where Hayward is and like passing by. Cause yeah, I feel like a lot of people that come here are from the Bay, but it's getting more popular.
Do you have a favorite East Bay memory?
Mm, no, I don't think I've made that one yet. Not yet, honestly. Not that I can think of.
Have you had any bad experiences on campus?
Um, yeah, I've definitely had some bad experiences on campus. Um, I feel like East Bay, even though we're the most diverse school on the continental U.S., is definitely lacking in um, like sensitivity towards diversity, especially coming from like the like staff and faculty, and then from like UPD on campus. Because even just like a couple weeks ago, like we had those people that were over here like yelling in the quad, and the police were they were like surrounding them instead of like the students, and it's like we were all kind of like, why are you doing that? And they, they were like, oh, freedom of speech, but they were harassing us and threatening students. So I don't know about that, but yeah, that like there are definitely times when I feel like the school can be more sensitive to like their population and understanding that students here have different experiences than like a lot of the more like especially expensive and like quote unquote elite universities. Yeah.
So I know you said college was just something that was going to fall into place for you, but have you ever considered transferring from East Bay or possibly dropping out of college?
Honestly, I consider dropping out like every day, especially after the second year. But well, like on my first year, I did really want to transfer. In all seriousness, just because before I started working here, I feel like I wasn't making a lot of the friends that were like making me grow in the ways that I wanted to. So I just felt like this school was like lacking a lot, but I just felt like it was up to me, to find like the spaces that I needed to like enjoy it here. Um, I don't think I've considered transferring since. I mean, I think about it, but like I don't seriously consider transferring. I wish I went to a more like political or actively political school like SFSU that like spoke out more about things when they're happening. But um, I do like being at East Bay. I feel like it's a really safe and like comfortable school.
So in terms of like religious background, ethnic background, gender background, what do you identify with?
Me,
Yeah.
so I feel like I don't really identify with anything religiously right now. Culturally, I'm Middle Eastern. Um, I really identify with like Middle Eastern culture. I wasn't really raised any other way. Gender, I'm non-binary. I identify as non-binary. Sexually, I'm queer. Um,
Have you ever experienced any backlash because of what you identify as?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, from students, I've definitely gotten like comments and like looks 100% all the time. Especially because I paint my nails, so a lot of guys like to get offended over that. But I don't feel like I've gotten that from any of the faculty or staff. Like everybody that's been in like a position of power has treated me with respect. So I'd just say it's mostly like students, and it's mostly towards my queer identity, because like yeah, I feel like everything else has been fine.
Have you ever been questioned by people due to your identity?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially my gender identity being non-binary. A lot of people don't really they don't want to understand it. They're just kind of like, there's boy and there's girl and that's it. And then even if I try to politely be like, gender is like, a spectrum, it's not like this one thing, they're like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, that's fine, don't talk to me. Just like, don't worry about it. But yeah, that's typically the thing. And then a lot of people always ask me if they're like, are you sure? Have you been with a girl before? And I'm like, okay, do you need to be with a guy to know that you're not gay? So yeah, it's interesting. But yes, definitely I have been.
Has the modern social political environment affected the way that you practice anything with your identity?
Yeah, definitely. I I mean, especially because of the election and stuff, I was scared for a while, but now I'm just at a point where I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't really, like, I'm, like, over it. Like, I'm really just gonna be out there, and if you don't like it, you can definitely talk to me about it. We can talk with our mouths or our hands, like whatever you want. I just, yeah, because I'm very tired of being like so reserved on account of everybody else. So, especially in this like political climate, I've just decided to kind of be like, I'm not gonna go back to how it was or like how it used to be. I am like, I'm at this point, like I'm just gonna go for it, kind of do what I want, live like everybody should be living.
Do you plan on continuing your education after East Bay?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like especially right now, like a master's is the new like high school diploma. Like you need that's like what you need to like get somewhere, I guess. Yeah, like it's a lot harder now if you just have a bachelor's degree.
Do you mind discussing some of your plans after your
Um,
bachelor's or master's degree?
so honestly, I have not figured that out yet. It's really hard because I feel like there's a lot of things that I would like to do, and I definitely plan on taking a break in between. So I'm not like 100% sure what I want to do yet. But I don't know. It's definitely gonna be in like a social field, like a social science field. I want to be able to like work more with like different like marginalized communities and connecting them and like trying to figure out how we can work as communities to like form or like find better ways to form for like our political and social justice and things like that. So I don't know, that's like the dream, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen.
Well, hopefully you get to do it. Thank you so much. Do you have any last statements or things you want to say regarding diversity or anything we've covered so far?
No, I don't. I was trying to think of a good line, but